We're living in a really, really interesting time right now. It's 2021. It's the middle of a pandemic. And I believe what's been so riddling within our society, within our community, is this concept of anxiety. Right. And, when we think about social media and so many different other places that we're getting fed information, fed this idea of comparison or this standard that we should live at, it's no secret that comparison and anxiety is something that we all essentially as humans can struggle with at times. Right. And so I want to give you some context to really be able to understand how can you eliminate some of this anxiety? How can you eliminate some of that feeling of imposter syndrome or comparison? Because as peak performers and as people who are pursuing high achievement, it's really important that we stay grounded, right? And so I want to give you some details and some insight today on how you can manage and mitigate those feelings of comparison and imposter syndrome and anxiety, and efforts to really be able to drop more into flow states, and efforts to drop more into the zone, and efforts to really drop more into the places that allow you to achieve the best versions of yourself. And so here's what I want to start with is first understanding is that nobody's voice is louder than yours. Let me say that again. Nobody's voice is louder than yours. And what does that mean? That means that even though you may see other things that people are doing, you may actually be able to hear what other people are putting out. What's important to understand is that nobody's voice is louder than yours. And so there's this concept that we talk about and I train with my clients, and it's the idea of self-talk, right? But it's self-talk from a different place. It's not just affirmations and saying, I will be great today. I will be amazing today. Real self-talk gets your biology in sync and really helps you understand the tone and, more importantly, the words that matter most to you. Why am I saying that? I'm saying that because our brains are great BS detectors. So if you start saying something that doesn't really resonate just because you heard someone else say it, or just because you got this affirmation from somewhere else, what happens is that it doesn't actually resonate, and more importantly, it doesn't allow us to change our state, right? And so what I'm challenging you to do is, one, is to understand the basis of self-talk so that you can create self-talk that works for you. Gone are the days where we just build affirmations based on some book we found, or we build and create affirmations based on somebody else's. It is time to really understand that your voice matters, and nobody's voice is louder than yours. It is scientifically proven that when you speak to yourself and when you say something to yourself, it means more and has more effect than someone else's voice. So number one, you got to get that self-talk script. All right, here's number two. So number two is something that I think is really powerful, because the self-talk is the start. But what do we put in this self-talk script? What is the context of the self-talk script? Here's the thing, back to the BS detectors, is that our brain knows that if it's BS, if you're like, I'm gonna be a millionaire tomorrow, come on, like our brains know when it's BS. If you know me and you coach with me, you know I'm a realist. I love to think optimistic, but I'm a realist at the end of the day, and I really try to dream big, but root those dreams in foundations and in realism. So it's not about not dreaming, it's just about understanding that the self-talk starts with where you are right now. What are the things that are happening and bubbling in your life right now that you need to speak to on a regular basis, right? Because here's the thing, the good news is this, is that the things that are happening in your life right now, they may not always be your story. It is okay. You have the power to change your script later when life changes for you. But right now, we've got to address where you are right now, right here in life. All right, so here's the third thing about the self-talk script, and this is probably what I get most excited about with the self-talk script, because when you start to say the stuff I'm about to tell you on number three, that's when you start moving for real. So check this out. Number three, self-talk script, is you talk about what you've done. This becomes a script that's not just about the future you. It's also about the few that you've been, because nobody can take away what you've done. Nobody can take away who you've been, what you've accomplished, especially if it's true. So a prime example of this is Michael Johnson. And Michael Johnson, if anybody knows sports, is that at one time, this man was literally the fastest man on the planet. And he talks about in his book with Trevor Moawad, It Takes What It Takes, that he actually had to create a self-talk script to identify what are the things that he has to do to get himself back in the zone when he feels it, right? And he came up with these three things. It wasn't that he had to have like, you're the greatest man alive or you're XYZ. He had to identify what are the things that he needs to say to himself to remind himself of what needs to happen in order for him to get to that place of execution, right? And to that place of greatness. Keep my head down, pump my arms, explode. Those three things, those were the three things, the three pillars, a part of his self-talk script. And he may have had more stuff to go with it, but the point is that you see how this isn't just some fantasy fairy tale scripting. This is real scripting that has to do and speaks directly to you and talks to and reminds you of what you need to do right here, right now, where you are in life in order to achieve greatness. Those are his three things at that point. Michael Johnson is not even running in the Olympics anymore. So his self-talk script is probably completely different now. The point is that you need something that speaks to you right here and right now. So if from someone, it may be the words, be calm. Right? When you're calm, it just happens for you. For somebody else, it could be the words, stay high energy. Stay high energy. Whatever it is, I want you to fill in the blank. What do you have to accomplish in order to stay in the zone? Ask yourself that right now. What happens and what do I need to do? What state do I need to be in order to be in the zone, to keep my head leveled, to stay focused? That word, that sentence is what you tell yourself. That's the sentence. That's the one. So when you get flustered, when you get frustrated, when you're uncertain, you tell yourself, stay calm. Right? When you get whatever it may be, you're getting ready to go into an interview, you're getting ready to post some content, whatever it is for you, walk on stage, you tell yourself those words, the words that resonate with you, the words that help you tap into the zone, what it takes for you to get into that high potential place. You know what it is. Nobody knows what it takes but you. This changes the game. So there's a place for affirmations. There's a place for declarations. There's a place to speak faith and talk over your life. But I'm challenging you today to get a self-talk script that speaks to where you are. Go back, replay the moments in your head when you've achieved some of the highest levels of success, the highest moments of your life, and ask yourself, what was I at? What state was I at? And what do I need to remind myself to be able to get there again for right now, right here, right in my life? Because listen, your biology is going to flare up. Those butterflies are going to start swirling at some point, whatever you're doing. The anxiety, the fear, all of that is going to happen at some point in our lives. We're humans and we're susceptible to it, period. The question is, what is your defense? What is your strategy to be able to combat that and silence the noise so that you can get yourself in a place to perform consistently? This is what this is about. So I hope this was helpful for you. I hope that you're excited to get off my video and go write your self-talk script. You know what to do. If you like this video, if you got something from it, drop a comment down below, and of course hit the subscribe button. And I will see y'all on the flip side. Be wow until we meet again.